Well, good evening, late evening, everybody. All zero viewers I have on YouTube. I've rehearsed that all day because I was hoping that whoever did actually get this YouTube would think it's hilarious, and it should be because I'm not really doing this for views. I'm doing this more as a way to memorialize my thoughts and outreach. Maybe there's somebody that feels the same way I do, and um, we can, connect this way. I am very reserved. I'm independent. I love my freedom. I love to be, um, I don't really, I've never necessarily felt like I should be a part of a group or, you know, I'm not swayed in one direction or the other, depending on what the popular vote says. I try and just do things the right way. So, in my last video, I mentioned that I was going to share with you the things that I think are ways to predict what the Democrats are doing. Um, I think Joe Biden is a very shrewd and savvy leader. I think that actually, I was thinking today that maybe because the Democratic Party is more so leaning towards branding themselves as one thing, but meaning a whole other thing, that they could actually fall under the category of false advertisement. They should probably, like, they could get sued for false advertisement. Um, you can't say that you're the leader in democracy and accept a win from a fraudulent election. Are you kidding me? Are you like cuckoo, cuckoo? And I'm supposed to be crazy. Oh no, of course. No, I'm supposed to be crazy. It's called reverse psychology. It's called reverse psychology. It's called like anything that you do that is going to make you look bad. You have to mischaracterize and project on other people so that you can get away with it, and then you just continue to get away with it, and you do it all in the name of, at the end of the day, being this sacrificing leader and patriarch that was just trying to lead the sheep into whatever hellhole, poo-poo hole, as some might have it, that we otherwise would never have avoided for ourselves. I almost feel like sometimes, like, doing like a voiceover, anytime that, like, there's like a Biden story or a Biden presentation on anything, like, and here's what your role is today, Biden. And like, so, like, he should have like these little ear clips, and but of course he's like the mastermind of the whole thing. I mean, give me a break. Give me a break. His brother James was just like tailed along by Joe. His son was just tailed along, tagged along, whatever. Tailed. Um, he's definitely the mastermind. He definitely has like complex issues. He thinks that if everybody else is just is going to um concede. He's looking for concessions. He's reaping off of the weakness from people that have given him concessions throughout his entire political life, which is all he's about. And unfortunately, it's done a lot of harm already to this country, as I think said so by not just myself, but by what I can tell, um, at least, and reinforced by very principled, leaders in this world that I do admire and I find no flaw in. And I'll spare the list of names because I don't name drop. Again, this is not a competition. It's not a popular contest. It's about right and wrong. And this topic is reverse psychology. So here's one of the interesting things that I noticed. I don't know, during the week or whatever. There's a whistleblower. Guess what the whistleblower is doing this time? Now that Joe is ahead and winning, okay, I have to address this. First of all, it doesn't matter to me if Joe wins. If Joe wins, if Joe wins, all it means to me, like if Joe had a fair, like if he had fairly won, like honestly won, like there's no other word for honest. Okay, there's no need to recreate the word honest. We all know what honesty means, and if it isn't obvious to people that are still claiming that he won, well, you're distorted, and you're distorting the definition of probably not just the word honesty, but it's not for me to deal with you. So if he had won, if he did win, all it means is that there's more people that are looking forward to aborting. They're looking forward to sexual freedom. They're like sexual freedom, and on so many levels. Sexual freedom with regards to if I get pregnant, or if somebody, if somebody, think of an innocent, and somebody gets them pregnant, but they know that abortion is legal, but they don't want the kid that so sexual freedom is definitely, it's wrong, it's bad. Like this is why there was AIDS in the 80s, and it was between faggots, like the gay people, because they do it in ways that creates I guess blood infusion because of the ways that they do it. So and we all as adults know what that means. So I think that maybe faggots are taking over this world in a way, and I don't know, is it called like sodomy or something? I keep up with some sort of partisan Christianity sort of thing in the Catholic Church. Obviously, this is like, oh, you can't say that stuff, but I do keep up with everything related to Jesus, and everywhere that his message branched out into, and try and combine it all and figure it all out and make my own opinion based on as much information as I can gather. So they are probably taking over, which is really sad, because I think to me they're very disgusting. They're confused. I think that the way that they, even to like an innocent, like virgin woman, like an innocent kid type, that's a huge deal. You don't have like a penetration that it is into yourself, that it isn't huge to you. It's big. It's a big deal. So the fact that they can just like make it into something that they can go and seek with other men, animals, maybe, I don't know. And you know what the thing is it leads to misogyny. It leads to them then wanting to demean women and like the female gender. And there's no need, because you know what, I don't need you. I mean, I geez I don't need you. I don't need, no, I would rather have long term sustaining love, true, like like the love where I'm intellectually connected, emotionally connected, and then your body it works wonders that way. Any other way, I have no idea. It's very, I don't think of it. I know that there's a lot of gay people around, and I can't discriminate. Some of them I like as the people that they are for the role that they're playing in my life. They're fine. But I do think that they're confused when they go home and they want to have a family, and they think that love is love between any other, like any gender that they choose. It's playing God. Obviously, at some point in their life, they wanted to play God, and they want to play God in their own life, and they want to take control. And they're probably atheists, and they don't believe in God, and they're not religious. So, and they don't want to have the same. So marriage, the true marriage that is traditionally from a religious root, doesn't apply to these days where gay people are trying to have a union. Have a union. Nobody wants to know what you're doing behind your doors. Geez, I mean, I don't want to know what's going on behind the door. I'm not out there to police people. I'm out there to say that this is not what is consistent with the civilization that took us where we are now. And if your argument is that, well, the civilization that was established, I don't know, 400 years ago, plus or minus, has brought to this, that's not true, because there's always been this problem, this issue with confusion and mental issues, and people are not accepting that they're queer. And if you're queer, you don't have to be in the closet and you don't have to get beat up, but you have to admit to yourself that it's not what is prescribed by biblical law. And biblical law is what has dictated our civilization. And if gay people want to dictate a whole other civilization, is they have to create their own path. And I don't want any part in it. And that is my right. And if I'm going to be persecuted or prosecuted, then that's fine. So now I've deviated, because I think gay people do have a big part in this. They are not necessarily the people that are the gatekeepers to everything that is good, everything that has brought us here. From this point forward, is you can consider the civilization diminishing and quality diminishing and allure, just that, like that vibe and energy that you get from people that are making sure that procreation will continue. How is procreation going to continue with faggots? How? It's not. So you depend on heteros, homos. That's just the end. And I know you're not even sensitive. You're aggressive as FUCK. You're aggressive with your little mustaches and doing all this crazy stuff now. Either way, reverse psychology is exactly everything that you should expect from anyone and anytime that you're being deceived. You are being told something that, and here's the deal. Good people are computing all the time. They compute. We're logical. We like to rationalize. We know, like, if we rationalize, we come to some conclusion, everything's good moving forward. Now, when you have an evil person, a wicked person that is making you question and doubt, that is their doorway to making you making you not come to a conclusion, to halt at being rational, to and they can make you want to see things their way. Next thing you know, it's hijacking, straight up. This is hijacking. It's reverse psychology, hijacking. Joe Biden is a Chinese. Um, uh, I would say that Joe Biden is basically a spy for China. He's a spy for China. He's going to get China all the information they need, that he thinks that they need. When he gets China the information that they need, and suddenly he starts to feel uncomfortable because China is not a joke. China is not a joke. China is like, we are the joke right now. At this point, we all have to admit that the United States is the joke of the entire world. We like to portray ourselves as like world class and the leaders of a global world, but no, not with these elections, not with Dominion being a faulty, corrupted software that everybody knows. I mean, look at the numbers. People, are you joking me? People that had never voted before came out this year to vote because Joe Biden is so great. After 47 years, they realized, like, oh my God, it took 47 years for me to realize, like, it doesn't happen, people. It just doesn't happen. Okay. It makes me disgusted. Think about it. So let's talk about this another time, because at this point, I think I'm done. And I think that I've hopefully put enough notes out there in cyberspace to, food for thought, get people's head thinking about what's happening, and making them decide at the end of the day. Is you have to decide, is whose side are you on? We have a president now that wants to avoid war with people. What does he want to do instead? He wants us to compete mano a mano, like brave, courageous people. Now you have this alleged president-elect whom is scummy for even accepting that title over this election fraud, um, prime election cycle, primary, sorry. So how cheesy is that? Like, I would never, like, oh, I won, but there was fraud. I don't think so. Like, let's count it again. I want to make sure that I won. But Joe's like, knew it. People rose up from the dead to vote for me. I'm that good. Yes, I am. What did what? People voted for me twice. Oh yeah. I'm really good now. So he's like totally like thinking of it like it's a good thing. It's not a good thing. People cheated for you. You get to walk away clean, wash your hands like this, while whatever criminals down on the ground were counting for you maybe got paid. Let's follow that trail. Let's ask those questions. Let's see what happened there. Either way, now here's the president, avoid war, a very straight a healthy competition versus Joe trying to play other people and trying to maneuver when everybody already knows, like, yeah, we got the move on you. all we got to do is keep you, our little puppet, pay you off, you pay off whoever you want. You're ours. We're going to go take over. You think 9/11 and Pearl Harbor were anything? Please. He's opening the door for people to come over here and do you know what in our behind. Okay? That's what he's doing. He's playing games that he wants everybody else to answer but him and precious crackhead Hunter. And why doesn't anybody ever mention Ashley Biden and her marijuana issues? Is she supposed to be cool? Oh, is this California? Because I've never actually felt glamored or glamorized about it, but because it happens like in some sort of like like the movie Traffic and some like privileged and I'm not saying you're because you're white, although of course that might help a little bit, I guess. I don't know. I just know that the United States cannot say that they are any better than Mexico, Venezuela, or any other country that uses political power to gain control of the people and thereby everything else. Like what's going to happen with the little people? What's going to happen with wages, with capital investment, with foreign and investment, with businesses leaving this nation? So that's all I ask. I really, at the end of the day, I'm going to be me. I'm going to have a cold during the winter like I do now, which is why I have like dark what's it called? Eye pouches, because people get colds and then they have to get better from them. So that's what I have to battle with. I have to go to work every day, not every day, but I would like to work every day. I would like to work every day to always build myself up and make sure that every time that I leave a video that I don't make myself look like a total disaster or just somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about. So hopefully in the future, I actually prepare more videos that are oriented towards my profession. At this point, they haven't. At this point, they are just a little bit more about building character and guarding oneself, informing oneself, and making sure that you're always playing a part in the things that the making the decisions that are going to make the impact to a better future, not just for yourself and not just because it's what's currently convenient, but because you want to give your kids afford your kids the same quality of upbringing that you had when you were a kid. I mean, think like 50, 60, maybe not. I mean, even the 60s. Come on, look at these people like often in Woodstock, like acting like a bunch of like morons. Like, stop. Like, why are you like? Okay, maybe Vietnam War does have to end, but do you really have to be a junkie about it? Either way, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. It's hard to say. I would rather avoid a second Woodstock. I really would. I don't want anybody fighting any wars for me. I want to fight them from here, and I want Trump to hopefully stay in politics no matter what happens. I don't want him to go all crazy. Like I send him my blessings and prayers because I know how difficult this time must be for him, that he's basically being hijacked from a bunch of marketers, like marketing people. Eventually, what happens is with any company, as we all know, and I went to more or less. I don't want to brag. Either way, it's a well-known fact for business students to know that in any business, when it starts to fail, the first people that are let go are marketing people. Marketing people are just like the fluff, the gloss behind whatever brand they're trying to create, but that eventually they can't back up. In politics, it's called propaganda. Your propaganda is not going to last. It's not going to hold. It's not. You don't have the facts behind you. You're like, it's wishful thinking. You're hoping that your wishes are the truth, and guess what? You're going to need some evidence and facts behind that to actually make it happen and convince rational and logical people to buy into it. Otherwise, you're a little bit out of luck. So either way, I should actually end with my Bible random page pick. So flip it around. I do want to pick a little bit more closer to the gospel. It's okay. So I'm in Luke 20 and Luke 21 page. Where should I look? Okay, so my eyes were drawn to the question about the resurrection, which is Luke 20, chapter 20, section 27, verse 27 rather. Some Sadducees, those who deny that there is a resurrection, came forward and put this question to him, saying, "Teacher, Moses wrote for us, if someone's brother dies, leaving a wife but no child, his brother must take the wife and raise up descendants for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers. The first married a woman but died childless. Then the second and the third married her, and likewise all the 7 died childless. Finally, the woman also died. Now, at the resurrection, whose wife will that woman be?" Sorry. For all 7 had been married to her. Jesus said to them, "The children of this age marry and remarry, but those who are deemed worthy to attain to the coming age and to the resurrection of the dead neither marry nor are given in marriage. They can no longer die, for they are like angels, and they are the children of God, because they are the ones who will rise. That the dead will rise, even Moses made known in the passage about the bush when he called Lord, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And he is not God of the dead, but of the living, for to him all are alive." Some of the scribes said in reply, "Teacher, you have answered well." And they no longer dared to ask him anything. So again, I think that the verse, excuse me. So one of the first things that strikes me about this passage is that marriage is something that was going on in the days of Noah. So I don't know what book of the Bible it's in, but it's written that as in the days of Noah, they were marrying and drinking and eating, and basically it sums up as they were living in pleasure. It's no different from some documentaries that I've seen on YouTube, for example, about decadence and about really reaching the height. And maybe that's why there's like this whole like reset idea going on. But really, with this, like sort of the first thing that comes to mind about this verse is that like in the days of Noah, there was people don't want to just like marry. I don't want to just marry, like I don't want to join minds. I want to share thoughts. That's fine. But, that's a different thing. The other thing that stood out about this passage is that the Sadducees are very like sort of like sneaky, like they're like almost like it's like like trick questions all the time to Jesus. Um they're always like trying to get him to say something that's gonna bind him to something earthly, like something that they can hold him to. And this is not the only passage that Jesus in the Bible about what Jesus has to say about marriage. What Jesus ultimately does have to say about marriage is that it's whatever God binds, you cannot unbind. If God wants me to be bound to somebody, something, a thought, whatever it is, it cannot be unbound. Like this is what is part of God's plan. And anything that God does and creates is a good thing. It's a good thing. So that's what, at the end of the day, when something feels right, is honor it and make it fruitful and make it actually be something that would be godly and come from God, because that is ultimately his plan, and now it's just our will to carry it forward. At the end of the day is there is really nothing technical about marriage and the next life. I think that it's really just humanity and not humanity. I mean, humanity is a good thing, but as far as anybody can tell, right? We all know humanity is being humane, but human nature, not so much. Human nature is more about being, I guess, protecting ourselves and our ego and making sure that when we make a decision that it I don't know. I don't want to speak for other people, and I think that in the topic of marriage, I shouldn't be speaking. I do just think that um, from what I've objectively observed in other people's lives, and you'll have to forgive me because I don't want to criticize and I don't want to find myself in this situation, but what I have objectively observed is that mainly men like to be dominating towards women. Shocking. Wow. Like big revelation. That's what I was trying to get at with marriage. Either way, if that's the case, if this is probably what that verse was sort of like hinting towards, like, well, I'm the big macho man. And so that was what was going on then. Um, okay. Alrighty. Well, that was that. Have a great rest of your Tuesday night, and I will see you